Greetings and welcome to Duane's Astrophotography, another session. This time we're going to be doing a nebula that is in the southern hemisphere. It is the Dragons, or Enter the Dragons, Dragons of Ara. It has several different names. NGC 6188 and I believe 6153, but maybe I've got the second one wrong. So let's plow right into it. Let's move me down and out of here so we can see. We're going to come up here and do our typical processes here. What we're going to do is we're going to open each one of these files. Now what these files are, they are TIFF files that I have stacked from purchased data, and this data is purchased by Insight Observatory. Very good data from Insight Observatory Starbase. I highly recommend that you download some of their data and have some fun with it. So what we're going to do now is come in here and we're going to begin to stretch. We're just going to stretch this like this in an automatic way that Pixinsight does for us very quickly by hitting that icon. And we'll follow a pattern here of movements that will show us we have really nice data here. Let's look at the alignment. The alignment is really nice. It looks like they all align correctly, as I would expect. Now, if these didn't align, we would come in here to all processes and do this star alignment tool right here. Star alignment, and we would set a reference and some frames that need to be aligned to the reference. Very simple, and it will align them instantly. I've also taken the liberty to crop these. They have been cropped and they are ready. Okay, let's start off with HA. I've named these correctly, red, green, and blue accordingly. So we've got our red, green, and blue. All right, so let's come up here. Let's just get rid of these for a second here. Now, one thing I want to show about Pixinsight, if you're not familiar with it, I'm sure most of you are if you've clicked on this video. But one thing that's really pretty slick is you can come up here and just hover on that and it'll show you the picture. And that way you don't have to keep opening it up if you're trying to find something, or if you're wondering if it's stars only, or whatever. I've got a big microphone. Check that out. Anyway, all right. Kind of obnoxious, I know, but hey, I'm not obnoxious myself. Let's get right back into this. Here we go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the stars out of this picture. I've decided not to do any background extraction. And as far as, let me show you this type of process quickly here. We go to modelization, background modelization, do automatic background extraction. And we typically will come in and maybe do a correction of subtraction, discard the background, and hit it. I want to show you what this does, and I'll explain to you why I'm not using it. Normally this will be the first step. That completed that in 1.7 seconds. That's lightning fast. Come over here, let's get rid of this. Let's compare these two now. This is the one that I have just performed the ABE on, and we can tell that because if you look at the top, it actually says ABE right there. Very nice software, Pixinsight. Let's stretch it. Let's compare. Now you notice it does make a lot more contrast in the image, and it really does do that. You can see if you just take a little look here, look like right up in here, you can see how much it's carved out, like right in here, for example. You see that compared with here? That's a perfect place to look. If you just look right in here, let me see if I can bring up about the same. And we see this is really like carved out, a lot of lines in here, right in here. You see that? But it's almost too much. I feel like that if we do this, we're going to be missing some of this detail that we could actually bring out with contrasting later. With various other methods. So I'm not going to produce this image with the HA. We're just going to basically, this is the AB, so I'm going to delete it. Okay? We're going to leave HA pristine, is what I'm saying, just exactly like it was captured, essentially. Now we're going here to green, blue, and red. All right, and we are going to do some extraction with these. What we're going to do is just the automatic background extraction process. Here we go, process. Same process I just showed you. Very quickly, I already had it open there. Great for videos. All right. I finished that in 1.6 seconds. I've been looking at this lately because I've invoked the NVDIA. I always get the acronym messed up. Whatever that is. And I've put it so that my system is very, very fast now. Let's go here. Now see, we've got a lot of cutouts here. Now I do like the cutouts in these colors. That's really going to show some nice stuff. We're gonna go ahead and keep that. Put this over here. Here's our ABE. Pixinsight keeps track of this stuff very nicely for us. We'll put all the good ones over here, and we'll go through the drill. Do the next one, which is green. Hit that one for another 1.7 seconds. Let's stretch it just to see what we got. Beautiful. All right, we'll take this as this is the ABE that we want, and this is the green that we do not want over here. Let's come in here and do our red. Same drill, red. See, we got some artifacts down here that my cropping didn't quite cover. We'll do that at the end. Another 1.7 seconds. Let's hit this up. Let's take a look at it. Cut out very nicely. That's going to look really, really good. All right, let's go for red, blue, and green. All right, let's take this one that's not ABE. So it's right down here. It's hidden from us. Let's put that right up here. So now we got our RGB over here. These are the original files, and I am going to keep them because sometimes you will have an accident and delete something, and you'd have to do it over again. All right. Again, we're going to leave the HA like it is. We're not going to use any ABE, so you see it's not labeled ABE. Let's get rid of that tool. Okay, we're going to take the stars out next as the next process. Let's do that by opening up Process, All Processes, and starxterminator. Generate star image, hit it. "15 seconds, that's pretty slow. Normally I have this double clocked, or clocked 2 times, and it's been crashing on me, so I'm not sure what that's all about. For this video, hopefully we will get through this without any crashes. Okay, let's just do the HA. HA is here. Put it over there now. It's in the right place here. Okay, this is HA stars. Come here to red, open it up, do the same thing. Take the stars out, drop it on. Blue, stars out, same drill. And then finally green. Now, Pixinsight is quite a remarkable software. I remember being so frustrated when I tried to start using it, but the more you use it, you begin to get in a pattern and a workflow, and it works really well. And green is our next one. Drop it on again. We've got some artifacts at the bottom there. We'll have to crop those out later. Okay. Bam. Stars are all removed. Drop them in their appropriate locations. And so we have now the nebula on the top and the stars on the bottom. Very good. We're done with starxterminator. Okay. The next thing we will do is we're going to open up these stars and we're going to save each one of them. And we're going to come over here, and this is an exercise in saving. So we go Save As. And what we want to do is we want to save this with some file name we understand. Now, the reason I'm saving them is so I can work on them in Photoshop. So I'm going to put PS down there, right in the file name. We hit this with 32 bits floating point. That is correct. Okay, we've done that. We're going to do this with each one of these. And actually, I have done this before, but I'm still going to... By that I mean I've done this process before. I could use the other files, but you can really never guarantee if they're identical as far as the processes. So I'm going to go ahead and go through all of this one at a time. It'll take a little longer, but I think we'll be okay. It's not going to be but a few minutes longer. Let's go here to underscore again, PS. And that will take care of that one. Okay, yes, 32 bits, right. Okay, and we hit this one. Take it down. Let's go for this one. Do the same thing. File. Save As. And we're going to save this one in the same manner. Like so. 32 bits. You know, this will say insufficient data storage capabilities, Tiff. Just ignore that. It's an error message that appears that... so far, I've never seen it have an effect. Our last one, Save As. PS for Photoshop. All right, save. There we go. This doesn't already exist, so that must mean that I did it. Must mean that I did it before. I'm going to do it again anyway. All right. Now we are ready to open these up in Photoshop. Let's go into Photoshop, File, Open, and let's open these ones we have just made, which are these. They are the ABE stars, PS, HA stars, blue and green. All stars underscore PS is what we're looking for. Open them. Okay, we have all these open now, crossed here. And what we'll end up doing is we're going to stretch these, because in Pixinsight the stretching is more difficult to do, I found, for the stars. We are going to use the easy stretch in Pixinsight, but for now we're going to go right to this and do this process. So mode, 16 bits per channel, that's the very first thing we choose. We're going to go up to exposure and gamma and say OK. And we're literally going to go through just a few of these for each one. Levels up to 1.4 or so here. All right. We're going to go back to image adjustments and do curves. Pull the curves down. Don't let this end up being a line, as in that. Always keep it higher than that. Adjustments, curves. What I'm looking at is this star. I want to start to see some points of light coming off of it, but not too much. Something maybe like that. Looks pretty good. We don't want to get it too out of control. I kind of like that right there. Let's call that quits. Image adjustments, levels. I'm going to come back here and we're going to put about a 2 or 3 here. And what that will do is it will turn down some of these stars right in here. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to show that. I want to show that to you. We'll go back to a 0. Okay, now watch closely. I'm going to go back to the 3. Watch in here, and you will see how that sort of cloudy look will be diminished. Let's accentuate it. Let's make it a 4 so I can show that. Here we go. There. We can see how the stars have been reduced somewhat. So I don't like to go too far. Let's go to a 3. I just did that for the visual purpose here. Let's go now to saving this. We are finished with it. Save as. And we're going to save it. And save it as stretched. Or stretch. If I could spell. All right. We are finished with this. We're going to do the same thing, same drill to the next ones. I'll just let you listen to the music and relax while I go through these stars. I had to undo the levels there for just a moment because I had forgotten to do the mode first. So make sure you do mode first. I do have that problem occasionally. Finished with that one. We're going to save it now. Again, stretched or stretch. (16 bits). Make sure you do that first. Exposure and gamma. Levels. Mode, it's image adjustments levels. 140. And then begin the curves stretch. One final levels adjustment at the end. Give it a 2. And our HA stars are completed. Save them. Stretch. Last one. Image mode, 16 bits. Exposure and gamma. Image adjustments. Levels, 1.4. Image adjustments, curves. Pull that thing down, stretch those out. I'm thinking that's probably as big as we want to get that one. I think we're finished. Let's go with image adjustments and levels, and let's do our final. Let's make it a 3. Okay, save. Save as. Stretch. Okay. There's all the stars. We can kind of scan through and look at how different they are. It's very interesting how that works. There's blue, red, HA, and green. All right. let's open Pixinsight again here. Let's open the files we just made. They should have the stretch at the end. That's what we want right there. All right. Let's deposit those down now, out of the way. Put them down here. We are now done with these stars. Okay. Those were our input stars, and this is now our stretch stars. Let's open up all of these and work on them now. These are very quick. We'll come over here and let's make them all the same size. Kind of keep things normalized here. Okay. What we're going to do now is stretch these. We see now that these are not stretched images. The way I know this is I can hit that little screen icon right there and see that it goes away back to a gray. And that is because it is not stretched. It's still in the linear form. So we're going to begin to stretch. Let's try HA. Let's go to process. Sorry, not process. Script. If you don't have this turned on in Pixinsight, you should do that. Soft stretch. Okay, and I always set this for about 0.32 to 3.5, and the loop here always at 0.02, and then pretty much I've got this up all the way. If you don't have it up all the way, it's not as aggressive. It will make it quite a bit dimmer and not quite have the contrast. So I like to really pull that up to the max. Okay, now let's see if we're stretched. Yes, we are stretched. We'll do this to all of them, one at a time. Script, easy processing suite, soft stretch. Numbers will be the same from the last time. And we simply click right through this like a machine. Very fast. Definitely has the advantage over the generalized hyperbolic stretch. Not quite as much control. Still turns out really nice. Okay, let's open these up now, back up, and we're going to put the stars back in. But before we do the stars back in, there's quite a process that must occur here. We want to make sure we have color stars. You know, like we could add these stars together right now and keep them black and white, but they don't look nearly as nice. So we're going to open them up, and what we're going to do is just simply combine these like we would do any other set of LRGB, but there'll be the stars being combined. Let's go to Process, All Processes, and we'll find this LRGB combination right there, and we're going to choose blue. Blue goes in B, of course, and we have green. Green goes in green, or G, and we have red. If I can get it here, this looks like HA. HA is going to go in the luminance, yes. And now we have our last one, which is should be red. Should be able to find a red in here somewhere. There it is. Let's make sure that we're correct. HA is L, red R, green G, blue B. Check. So now we will run this as a separate entity down here with the circle and come up with our color stars. All right. When you first look at this, it doesn't look like too much color there, honestly. If you stare at it long enough, though, in kind of dark light, you will see that there is quite a bit of color going on. You see kind of yellowish, sort of orangish, greenish blue there. You know, very nice looking stars. We want stars to be fuzzy, like sort of like blurry blurry little balls is what we want. And it looks like we have that perfectly. Okay, we are going to run one thing. I don't think we need it, actually, honestly. But I think we're going to do it. I'm going to come up here. I just want to show it here. Process. All processes. And we're going to use one of Russ Croman's tools, which is really, really nice, especially if you have a picture that has oval-shaped stars, which this one are perfectly round. They're perfectly spherical. But sometimes you'll have oval-shaped stars, so what you can do is come here and hit this at about maybe 18. Do this somewhere around 20. The star halos. Make sure these are slid back. Do correct first, and then drop it on the image. Watch and see here. I want to show you the difference. You can actually make the stars smaller this way. They're the diameters of them. All right, we're about halfway. Spinning up to completion. There's 70, 80, and 90, and we're done. Okay, let's just zoom in here and see what this did. Now you can see what it actually did is maybe something we really don't quite want. I do like the way it's pulling out these spikes, from the diffraction spikes from the telescope. Let's just take a look at it here. Let's go image and let's undo it. See that? It really does kind of enhance the stars. Although I will say it reduces their size somewhat, maybe a little too much. So I believe what we need to do, let's undo this, okay? Let's go over here and let's move this slightly to the right, maybe down to about 12. And also let's kind of move this back because we don't want it to really have much effect. What this will do is make the stars just not quite cut them out as much. Let's check it out one more time. This is a great tool. Okay, now let's take a look. I kind of like the way that looks. If you stare at it a while, you see that's pretty boisterous looking. You know what I'm saying? I like the way some of the stars look, though, better. But as a whole, I think that this does just as good. And they're actually smaller, not quite as blurry or like they're blown out. So we're going to keep that. Thanks, Russ, for that wonderful software. Okay, we are now going to rename this, and we're going to call it stars. This is our complete stars identifier. I'm going to rename it RGB stars. And I'm even going to say blur X for blur exterminator. Okay, let's put this back down again. This is one of our final process images right there. All right, now we're ready to combine these. We are going to do all of our finessing after the colors are combined. I'm not going to play around with any of the, I guess, clarity or contrast with these yet. So we're going to go ahead and combine these. So let's do that just like we did the stars. All processes, LRGB combination. Okay. Take these out of there. And put these in one at a time. There's red in R. There's B for blue. G, green. And HA is going to be our luminance. All right, let's see what we get. This will be our first color image. Combining all the grayscale together. Okay, Looks pretty good. What we see in this wonderful target, we see a lot of depth over here, and what I see is it looks like that some energy is shining outward here from these, and this is sort of like in front of everything. So it has kind of a foreground background look here from left to right. Beautiful blue color. I don't really like the green so much. So what we're going to do is we're going to invoke a wonderful software back in Pixinsight, out of Pixinsight, back into Photoshop, and then back into Pixinsight, just like we did earlier. So we're going to save this, save as, and we will save it as RGB, and we're just going to call it RGB for right now. And we say save. Save it as 32 bits. Now, normally we save it as 32 bits when we're doing early work, but right now we're done with stretching. Okay? I'll say that again. We are done with stretching. So we're going to go to 16 bits now. Remember that. It's a lot easier if you do that. So we're going to stay at 16 bits. Let it save it. Come back into Photoshop. Let's get rid of these stars. Open. RGB. Open. And what we're going to do now, we're going to try to get rid of some of this green a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and try this as a first step. And what we're going to do is we're going to go with a layer, a new adjustment layer, okay, and go into hue saturation, and we say okay. We're going to come over here and pick, instead of master, we're going to pick the magentas here. And we're going to see if we can desaturate those magentas slightly. Okay, that's actually working on the magenta that's mixed in with the other colors. So I don't think this is what we wanted. I was trying to attack these areas here, really not happening very well. And actually, if we reduce it slightly, I think we're going to be ahead. Tell you what, I'm just going to go back to 0 here and not change this. From now on into the video, what we do really counts. So, all right. We see we've got some cropping errors here. You see that really should be cropped back here, but we're going to wait and do that in Pixinsight. You can kind of see it really needs to be cropped up a little to kind of get rid of those weird anomalies on the edges. But we're going to go proceed here. It's interesting. This must be a galaxy right here, because the starxterminator did not remove it. It's very interesting. And I'm sure we don't have the resolution to look at that here. I know we don't. So let's just go ahead. Let's go to 100% here if we can, at least, to do that. Yeah, it's hard to say, but that's probably a galaxy. All right, what we're going to do here is really try to clean this thing up. We're going to first of all do some really cool stuff with color, and we're going to bring this blue out a little bit more, and we're going to come in here to image, and we have to be careful with this one because it will change the colors, and we really don't want to change the colors. We just want to bring out the colors. So we're not trying to make a painting here. We're trying to keep the colors. Now this is very interesting. I want to make this point, and you astronomers out there, I doubt there's any astronomers watching this video, but I would be honored if there were. I feel that this picture is a color picture. It was taken with color filters. They're broadband color filters, so they're not like the Hubble palette filters that are only a couple nanometers wide. These are very broad spectrum, R, G, and B, just as we see. And so I think that if you were traveling in space and you got close to this, you would see that color, approximately. I may be wrong there, but I think I'm correct. So in other words, a lot of folks will say these are colorized. You hear somebody say, oh, those are just colorized. And I beg to differ. These are not colorized because we have not done anything with the color. We've simply added all the colors together. They're RGB together, which is what we do with pictures that we take of a family photo. We can do the same thing. We can do the same process with LRGB on a picture of a terrestrial tree forest scene or lake forest scene, or you get the drift here. So I believe that this color would be just what the universe looks like. So I'm going to leave my email address with this. I'm going to start doing that. If there are any astronomers out there that want to write me, that'd be great, because I would really like to know the answer to that. Okay, let's move on. We're going to go in here now to Image, and we're going to go to Adjustments, and we're going to go to Selective Color. And now here's the problem. This will never work unless I have this layers open, which I do, and then we have to be clicked on that right there. Very important. Now we'll go up here to Image, Adjustments, and Selective Color. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring this blue out, okay, because I really like the blue. And we do that with cyan, moving the yellow down in cyan and the magenta up. Okay, so this is making it a more of a darker, see, it's more of a green right there. Now we're going to take it right down to a bluish color. And the yellow does help that usually, especially in the Hubble palette. See that? See how the yellow also brings out the blue. That's the trick we use. And so I'm at least going to do that. And the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to say okay here. Let's go back out on our view so we can see more of this. And in fact, let's zoom out a little bit. Zoom out. Okay. I'm going to this extremely like reddish, brownish. We're gonna play with that just a little bit, and also we have green here, which is real, you know. But I'm going to remove it just a little bit here because I really don't like green in my images so much. So let's go here to Image, Adjustments, and Selective Color, and we're gonna go into the reds here, and we're gonna just move this a little bit to see what we get. You see what we're doing? We're kind of turning up the reds as we go that way. And that gives us a lot of character in pictures. See, if we look how blasé that looks. We pull that red up and it really starts to look nice. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that red up there that way. It gives us good contrast with the blue. And say okay. Now, just for grins here, I believe that I'm just about finished with this. We're going to see if I can, in Pixinsight we can remove the green with the SNR, I believe, the acronym. So we're going to go ahead and leave the green in for now and just move on. All right, the next thing I do here is I use, typically what I'll do is I'll come in and begin to do some filtering. So we're going to go into Camera Raw Filter. This is just such a magnificent tool, the Camera Raw Filter. We go to Basic, and we're going to come down here. You're going to be real careful with it, but dehaze is a very powerful tool. See, if we take it all the way over, it looks very, what would you say, like a sort of like a poster, like a comic book or something. So we don't want to do that, but we want to get this haze out of there. You can see I'm going to dramatically show what this is doing. When it's way over here, see, we're just bringing it right in. We have to, there's the 0 point, but just a little bit more gives us a lot of nice contrast. Maybe up to 20, something like that. Let's try 20. That looks really good. We're getting a really good depth in here with all these beautiful, beautiful dusts and gases and amazing things of space. All right, let's see what the clarity does. Clarity can be used maybe a little too drastically. I really like it. You see, for example, what the clarity is doing. If you look right in here, see these white areas with the blue? Watch how the clarity just pops those. Isn't that just something? But if we move it all the way over, we're starting to get a little bit of maybe too much detail here. Some people would like it. So I'm going to err on the side of just a little less. So we're going to go to about maybe 60 here. I like those very cloudy looking almost, and we're seeing the energy come out and these black come out. If we move this clarity over too far, I think we're going to be doing kind of a kooky thing here. Let's go to maybe 90. We won't go all the way. Now texture is really a one that makes it look quite fake, almost like bubbles in a hot tub or something with lights, you know. You don't want to go this way. It's very blurry looking. So you can see what this is doing. Let's go up to about, I kind of like the detail, not too detailed because it makes it look fake. So I might choose maybe 5 or 6 there. Let's say like a 4, okay? So that's our first go around with this. We're going to go down to detail. In fact, I'm going to say OK to make sure this produces that. You can see now, see, edit, let's undo the camera raw filter. Look at the difference there. Redo camera raw filter. Check it out. I'm going to do that one more time. Look up in here how these really get produced with camera raw filter. Here we go. We're going to now redo it. Watch now. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do, and the last thing here, is we're going to use Topaz Labs denoise artificial intelligence. This picture has such low noise, it's almost crazy using it. You'll see here in a minute. So this is our noisy side. This is our denoised side. Let's take a look here. Now that is a testament to InSight Observatory, my friends. I can see really no difference between here and here. This data is so nice. Now, right in here, we have the ability to enhance it. See, that's what we're doing right here, enhance sharpness. So it is enhancing this. If you watch as I pull it over, I don't know if you can see that on YouTube or not. There it's not as crisp. There it crisps it right up. So we're going to go ahead and keep that. Apply. All right, we're done. File. Save as. We're going to call this cell color, which is really the main thing we did. Okay, save. Yes. Okay. Back into Pixinsight. Open it. We'll do a direct comparison now. Cell color. We'll compare the two. Now, see, what we've really done is we've kind of turned up the waza, as I call it. The waza. You see how this is almost blurred looking right in here? We've really enhanced the energy that's coming out of here. You can see it more in the cloud level, the blueness. Everything is better over here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and reduce this and put it over in our little package. All right. Well, we're drawing to the end of the video. It's been a long video. I'm glad that you stayed along and followed it this far. We are going to remove some of this green. Let's try that first here. And if I can quickly find that, I sometimes have trouble finding it. It's SCNR. There it is. You see, remove green. And we're going to remove it by maybe, let's start removing it by maybe 60% and leave it on average neutral. So watch this green, like right in here. See all this green around there, up in here? Let's see what it does. And we say, okay, apply. All right, let's go back again here and see if it made a difference. Undo. Don't really see much difference. So let's do it one more time here. Let's undo it. Let's go over here to about maybe 90%. See what it does. Drag it over on it. All right, now let's do an image undo. Yeah, not much difference. We're going to go ahead and leave it on there anyway. All right. Let's combine these wonderful stars that we worked on earlier. Here they are. Beautiful, beautiful colored stars. And see what this thing looks like. Process, all processes, pixel math. Pixel math is a really cool apart tool, it's going to literally add these together if we tell it to. So we go to Expression Editor, and we find our RGB stars Blur X. Looks like we've got it Blur X. I'm my own worst enemy when looking at this stuff. Here it is right here. Double click it. There it appears. Now we're going to come over and do a plus sign. Okay. And we're going to do our other one, which is it's going to be RGB cell color. I think right here. And let's make sure, let's say OK for now. Come up here and see if that is. Yes, it was RGB cell color. We have it right. Okay. Now we're going to come up in here and we're going to drop it into the nebula. Don't drop it into here. Looks nicer if you drop it into the nebula. Come over here and we're going to combine the stars with lifting up the mouse button. There we go. All right. Well, I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and call that quits for the video here. We are going to do one last thing here, and that is to crop it, because we do have an artifact or two in here. Actually, it almost looks like vignetting out here, if you see that. So I'm going to chop this over a little bit. We don't want to take too much of our images out because we worked hard on them, but we do want them to look beautiful at the same time. So that's the philosophy I think of when I do this, is not to get carried away. We still have maybe some artifacts over here that we need to get rid of, if you can see that. So I'm going to blow both those out. We're going to go with dynamic crop. Click. I'm going to pull this with the little handle. See the little handle that appears on the left right there? I'm going to move this over to about right there, and move this over to about right there. Kind of get rid of that vignetting look there. Something like that looks pretty good to me. We'll drop this over, close the tool, even though we're not going to use it again. Always follow the procedures and you'll do well. All right. Well, I think that that's a wrap. We've got a little bit of something going on at the bottom here, but I'm just going to go ahead and say that's it. I appreciate you watching here, and I have a great time doing this, and hopefully you'll tune into my videos and leave comments, and I'm going to leave my site that I use, which is a wonderful site. It's astrobin.com. So I will go ahead and mark my astrobin.com in this video, so you can go look at me there, and also thousands of other astrophotographers. All right. This has been Duane's Astrophotography, and I always would like to see clear skies.